Hello and welcome back. I'm Annick Lewis, wellness coach, nutritionist, author, and for this particular series I'm going to nominate myself as world president. So stick around if you would like to learn more about my studies, questions, and my proposed thesis that I'm going to share with you over the course of the next 4 episodes. This will be an introductory episode, so we have some context to follow before I really dive deeper into a few 10-minute segments that you may find interesting. Okay, so to get started, I have been doing research over the past 11 years on the human intelligence, body, and that has taken me through the diet into human discipline and human intuition, which has further led me down the road of interviewing many people and to learn and understand how are people feeling in the world, the contrast of wealth, building wealth, and the way that the current financial systems are built based on, I think it was my grandfather. I went to his house when he was alive. Mervyn was his name. And he had a book, and it was about the financial system. It might have been the book Too Big to Fail, but it shows a lot of the breakdowns with the past, I don't want to say 100 years. You know, many of these details that I will share with you in these videos, I do recommend you do further research and fact checking, because I do feel that when it comes to being a generalist and a specialist, that takes a team to really bring about a detailed outcome. And any of this context in the video is not advice, it's my research and understanding, and I'm very happy to get extra research and data that you might find to either prove towards the theory or share to build upon a possible beneficial outcome. So I just want to give you a heads up on that. And so through my interviewing and research, when it comes to the physical body, which is a priority for humans, we are in our vessel until the end of time, right? Our human vessel is a priority when it comes to taking care of our bodies. And the demands of life are that hard, where we are seeing that the biggest problems in the world for most humans are health, mental health, and finance. On all levels, if most people were to complain about something or wish something was different, it would more be in those arenas. And when it comes to what humans really want and deep down in their soul desire, whether they are distracted and are aware of it or not only to be seen, heard, and understood, but also to make more money, to be healthier, and most people actually do want to be lean. Now, through my research also, I have found that most humans have addictive personalities, and when it comes to virtue and vice, there is always something that the human body craves for dopamine in the dopamine receptors, whether that is sugar, whether that is any of the vices, or whether that is a way of thinking. Humans have addictive behavioral patterns. Now, there's a contrasting research that suggests if we train ourselves to be addicted to the right habits that support our human physiology, our anti-aging processes, our bodies, not only will we be more productive and make more money, but we also can contribute higher value to society. Now, this comes on the terms of human education, for example, and the ways in which the education system is set up. There are pros and cons of many of this. However, when it comes to further education and research, I'm a fan of proposing that extra research is always a good thing to do. And I'll give you a little story, because growing up, we come from a very big family. We have at least 200 people in our family proximity in terms of cousins, aunts, uncles, great-grands, and so forth. And I have always wanted to just I used to say my dream job when I was growing up would be at least a temporary summer job, not a dream job, but like a time period of my life kind of job would be to be a security guard in one of those neighborhoods that lets people in and out, so that I can use that time to get paid to study. And it was hard for me to find that peace and quiet time because we always had family events, siblings, and responsibilities. And even when my parents got divorced, I took up extra responsibilities because they were, I had to step up to a certain degree because my mom was injured. And luckily, I got an opportunity to move across to Barbados and further my studies, where I literally just took most of the time in my 20s to curate an education path, and I have all the material saved of the context of everything I've learned to uniquely train my mind in a way that I found to be valuable. Because I felt like in media there were a lot of fun, but just brain trash sort of TV, which is fun and entertaining, but I found it wasn't going to give me the outcome I wanted. And I reached 20 years old and I realized through research that by 25, our human psychology is pretty much capped on its not neuroscience or ability to learn or retain information, but it said something like the full human psychological development when it comes to brain development would max around 25. So I was like, oh my gosh, I've been an athlete for the past 20 years, focusing more on sport and fitness and PE and music. And I really want to get into the books, and I admired these nerds and geeks so much that I was like, oh my God, I want to be a geek. So I did that, and I sacrificed a lot of my social time with my friends, staying home on the weekends, just studying, getting material, listening to podcasts, listening to YouTube stuff, buying books. Any income that I made, I went to buy more books to learn more, to expand my mind, because I was like, how can I compound all this knowledge in the next 5 to 8 years to really max my ability to retain this information, because I wanted to be a world-class coach. And so far I did that, and then I was in Barbados and I had this silent time where I wrote my book and I decided to study the world from a very quiet perspective. So during the pandemic, I sat and I basically researched a lot of stuff in the world, and I used that time to sit in silence, almost going into monk mode, and nobody understood, and everybody's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm studying. And that's the outcome of that. It was because I wanted to really dive deep into the ways of the world and history and anthropology, sociology, and more understanding in depth to be able to have these kind of conversations. So that's how I got here, just in case you were wondering. And so now that we are here, there are a few lessons I learned along that journey that I'm very happy to share with you because I feel it will bring value to your life. So after realizing these main problems, like on summary on a large scale, it's finance, mental health, and health, right? And we are humans at the end of the day, and these are necessities that are required for us to operate in this society. We can probably all agree that everybody wants to have more money at their disposal, and people want to be healthier and not have to concern themselves so much about health, because we lose a lot of lives to health conditions regularly. So let's say that there are 8 billion people in the world. I asked ChatGPT to consider on 4 different socio-economic levels what are the pros and cons of faster money spending in the world economy. Not necessarily printing, because we don't want devaluation of any dollars. Is there a way we can find a solution without increasing inflation and also having access to more fiscal fun? I don't want to say fun, access, pace maybe even. So we are going to look on a global scale of who's making all the money in the world, where is it, how fast is it moving, and how can we all find ways to lean into our financial values to make better financial decisions. Stick around if you want to chat more.